Now, Trevor Lawrence made his preseason debut against the Cleveland Browns. He was 6-9 for 71 passing yards, and Trevor Lawrence was good as advertised. Now, the offensive line kind of let him down. He had a sack real early, but he had a really nice play to Marvin Jones, and Trevor Lawrence right now is miles ahead. He's miles ahead of the other rookie quarterbacks out there. He's miles ahead of Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance. Because, like, when you just watch that game and you watch how Trevor Lawrence maneuvered in the pocket, this guy was literally stepping up in the pocket. He didn't roll out anything like that. He was protected. Well, he was waiting for his offensive line to, give him an opportunity to at least attempt to throw the football downfield, because goodness gracious, man, like the first couple of plays were rough for him, man. Like he was going through his progressions, waiting for somebody to get open downfield, and off the line just kept on collapsing on him. But then he finally had an opportunity that he had some, good protection, and he was able to throw a beautiful dart to Marvin Jones. So when I look at Trevor Lawrence, man, like I definitely see why everybody considered him a generational talent. And I think the reason why now people consider him a generational talent is simply for the fact that he was the most pro-ready quarterback coming out of this past year's draft, and it's pretty obvious when you look at how he performed in that game. And I was really impressed with, how he went through his reads and how, he was willing to take the checkdowns at times. And then even when the offensive line was collapsing, like he was still willing to step in, step down, and, try to complete some passes under pressure. There was a lot of plays during that game when the offensive line was collapsing, and pretty much every single time he went to drop back, the offensive line seemed like it was collapsing. You only had like good protection on like a handful of plays, but even when the pocket was collapsing, he had pressure in his face, like he still made some really good throws under pressure. So just by the way that Trevor Lawrence was able to, perform inside the pocket, he had really good pocket presence. Like, literally, like, the man was stepping back, 1, 2, came back to his third read. Then next thing you know, the ball was out, or he was either going down for a sack. And some people out there in the comment section were trying to say he was holding the football too long. Like, that's false. Trevor Lawrence was not holding the football too long. If you watch the game, there are literally a handful of plays when Jacksonville only had like 2 or 3 wide receivers going out on passing routes. So if you only have 2 or 3 routes and they're covered, what are you going to do with the football? You're going to have no choice but to either take the sack or either try to get out the pocket. So if there's only 2-3 routes down the field, then there's only so much you can, literally wait to happen. So for all you guys out there who are trying to say Mac Jones holding the football too long, if you only have 2 or 3 route combinations on the field being ran, if they're not open, then that's it. That's the play. Like, literally, what are you going to do? Like, you can get out of the pocket, try to extend the play, but if you only have 2-3 wide receivers on routes, if the play's not there, the play's not freaking there. So, for all you guys out there who keep saying that Trevor Lawrence was holding on to the football too long, that's absolutely false. And you literally, if you watch, you can literally see Trevor Lawrence going through his progressions. Literally, he was going, okay, first read, second read, third read, and even sometimes he would go back one more time for another read. Now, I would have liked to see Trevor Lawrence, at least try to get I would have liked to see him at least tucking and run at least a little bit more. But, one thing about Trevor Lawrence, man, like, he was really patient. Like, I was really impressed with his pocket presence inside of the pocket. So, for all you guys out there who keep saying that, well, JT, Trevor Lawrence holding the football too long, that's absolutely false, man. Like, this is football 101. If you have 2 or 3 wide receivers out running routes and they're covered, that's the play. Unless you just tuck and run, but by that point, the offensive line was already collapsing. You just simply can't help that. So, for me, okay, Trevor Lawrence obviously is the most pro-ready QB from what I saw. Like, I was really impressed. When I saw Trevor Lawrence perform last week against the Browns, he gave me a lot of, similarities to how Joe Burrow was last year. And remind you, Joe Burrow didn't even play a single preseason game. But you look at Trevor Lawrence, and I didn't see a quarterback who was a rookie. I saw a quarterback who looked like a seasoned NFL veteran with how he was maneuvering the pocket, how patient he was. Even when the pocket was collapsing, he was still making sure, trying to go through all of his progressions. And that's the same thing that you saw out of Joe Burrow last year. He was poised. He was patient. So for Trevor Lawrence, I'm definitely now starting to understand why a lot of people are saying he was the most pro-rated QB, why he's a generational talent, similar to the same thing about Andrew Luck.